You have now entered the lab, episode 122. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, recording this on April 22nd, 2024. We got NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. What else we got going on? Oh, we got combat sports. That includes everything under that umbrella: boxing, MMA, pro wrestling, whatever it is. I'm glad you guys stopped by because we're going to talk about it all this week. Of course, Enter the Lab, presented by Broward Vintage, men's, women's, kids clothing, eBay, link in bio. I happen to find one of these that will be posted either today or tomorrow. It happens to be my size. Size a little 36. I might be a little slimmer than 36, but I'll put a belt on. Memorial Day coming up, 4th of July coming up. If you need it's a lucky brand, so they'll be listed on the website. I just grabbed these randomly because I was like, oh, what is this going on?
I got some
Proud
shorts
Vintage
like that.
Shop, whatever. Yeah, these are denim, by the way. I don't know if you can tell by that, but
that's pretty clean then.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's different. So Broward Vintage, proud sponsor, presented by. So before we get into the Garcia Haney fight, what else do we got? We got so much. NHL hockey playoffs starting, the NBA playoffs starting, Miami Heat, not the Brooklyn Nets, Florida Panthers. What do we got? We got JONTAY Porter, obviously an update on him. Caitlin Clark, update on her contract. Anthony Edwards being a beast. What else? And other things. Some music involved. But before we get into that, what's going on with you, Fort Sama? Did you start that job? And if so, is there anything you want to discuss live on the podcast?
First day tomorrow. I went on Friday to do all my paperwork. First day kind of stuff to just get it out the way. I got to knock some trainings out, but I think it's going to be a smooth experience there just based on the other people working there and based on my experience and sales experience. So I'm excited to start, man. I do have to go and buy some clothes though, because all I really have is the suit that I bought for your wedding. I got that fitted, so I have the pants for that. I have some shoes, some nice black shoes, and I got a black shirt, like a black button down. Okay. But I gotta get like another black button down, maybe like a gray button down. Get some black pants, get some khaki pants. Mix it up a little bit, stay fresh.
What I realize
it's business. It's business casual. That's the dress code, business casual. But I don't know, man. If I'm gonna be working at a jewelry store and doing sales, I'm used to when I worked at Verizon, we wore button down shirt, pants, and a tie, and we were clean shaven. So that's what I was used to, and that's kind of how I want to keep it. So I want to look professional. I don't want to be in there kind of with like jeans and a button down.
Yeah, don't be that guy, please.
Yeah, please. I want to look the part exactly. So I'm excited for it.
So my question to you was, I believe that we didn't really discuss what the job is, and obviously I think I didn't ask what your new job is because we don't try to get too personal unless you want to share that. But the reason why I asked that was because you posted a picture last week after we maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of a car. So I'm kind of confused. I had Ben. I think Ben hit me up. Like, what was that question? What was that about? Like, did Fort start a new car job or whatever? And I was confused. I was like, actually, now that I think about it, I don't know the job that Fort got. Like, as far as because he kept on saying sales. So, what was that about? And also, what is the new job eventually?
That shit had me screaming, bro. That shit had me screaming. No, that's a picture that I just saved on my camera roll. I saw it on Facebook.
Oh my god! All right, so
I saved it on Facebook. Yeah, I'm trolling. Come on, man. You know me.
All right, well,
you think I'm gonna do hard labor?
No, but I thought. See, that's what I'm saying is I was questioning it only because I didn't ask what the sales job was, so I was thinking maybe. Obviously, you're not doing anything mechanical, but I thought it was in that industry. So then I'm like, did he get a job at a dealership or something?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
You're saying, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm trying to put it together, but now that you're saying trolling, then Never mind.
My
So it
my
is in.
mechanic abilities go as far as changing a tire and changing the
Oh,
oil on a car.
I can't even change a tire. I can't change oil. So you're better. You're a better man than I am.
And on my old Impala, I changed the front headlights and I changed the tail lights on that car myself.
Ooh, okay.
Shout out YouTube, baby.
I will say I'll
That's it.
have I'll check that and then I'll raise you. I am getting better at the household things. So where you
Okay.
slack, you got me on the car. I got you on household
Yeah.
shit. So we could swap
Yeah. I
knowledge on that.
actually had to change my tire a few weeks ago, man. I was being an idiot, texting and driving,
Mm-hmm.
and where the pothole is, where the water goes in when it's raining, the drainage. I
Yep.
swerved and hit the corner of that, and I knew it right away. I got mad pissed.
Damn.
I get out the car and I hear psst.
Ooh.
So I had to change my
I've had
tire.
I've had one incident in my life, knock on wood, knock on everything, because I don't need that. But I've had one incident ever, and it was with my first car, probably the first few months I owned it. Had rims on it, and the rim split the tire, and that was the only tire issue I've ever had. Never had any other issues
Dude, I've had such bad
since.
luck
But
with tire issues
how did I
always,
say
and
that?
I had
Guess what's
just
gonna
been
happen?
so
Because
good.
that's why.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But we knocked on wood. But yeah, no, I changed it. I put it on the spare right away. I didn't want to deal with it in the morning. I just got it over with, and then woke up at like 7 in the morning the next day. Went to a tire place and bought a new tire, bro. It was like $230 for the tire fees, all that shit, dog. It's no
Dude,
joke,
right?
man.
Isn't tires crazy
They're
money?
expensive. I was pissed I wasn't in Florida because in Florida I have my dad knows a bunch of people and I have the connects and I could have got a tire for cheap and shit. But here
Yeah.
I don't have any connects like that. So I
Yeah,
had
when you need a tire, you're not trying to shop around.
238
You're
bucks.
trying to like just figure out, hey, who
Yeah,
can get
bro,
it to
just
me
bite the
the
bullet.
same day or the next day.
Yeah. Good thing I had like $500 like a week before that on a scratch off. So, I had a little bit of money that I could use for that, or else
Yeah.
no, that shit sucks, bro. Tires are expensive. If I want to get 4 new tires on my car, it's easy to stack. Easy,
Yeah. It's an yeah.
$1,000.
I got two new tires, and I think last week I said by this time next week I'll
Enter the
have a new
tire
car.
lab, baby.
Yeah, and yeah, for real. I haven't. I had to redo. I had to extend my lease out 30 more days because it's gonna take a little time to get another car situated. So I bought two new tires for that. What was that, about maybe a year ago or so? Because obviously in South Florida, if you guys don't know, and this is from a professional that does know, you lose the tread on your tires double as fast living in South Florida than anywhere else. Just the heat, everything, the compound from, you talked to me technical about the road, how it just depletes tires and rubber.
You
So
think he
basically,
was being honest about
no,
that?
he was, because he inspected my car, so he had nothing to sell me. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to like sell me
Oh,
on
I
trying to
got you.
get new tires. He was inspecting my car, and I just asked him one question, and it led to a conversation, which I appreciate because normally tires, it's like, all right, it should be 20 to 30,000 easily. In South Florida, he told me 10 to 15. And if you don't, how it rains down here, when it
hmm
does a lot, like hard, that's why you see accidents of all kinds. Because how many people do you know? And we can make our jokes where there's more female that don't change tires or
Women,
don't do anything. Women
same,
don't
bro.
do, yeah. But also, I think the human race just, we're all lazy. We all put it off because shit costs a lot of money. All of a sudden, you need two new tires. You're spending a grand for the most part, of depending on what type of tire and what kind of car you have. But that's why people hydroplane. You're telling me that's why when it rains and people don't have the right tires, that's why you see all these accidents. People can't stop. People can't drive, and then they can't stop from not being able to drive. So,
Well,
yeah, the
it's
last
also
time I
one of
bought
those
tires,
things
man, they're
that
expensive.
it's one of those things that not you take for granted, which I mean you do, but it's one of those things you don't really inspect before you get in a car and like turn it on. People don't ever realize, oh, their brake light on the back of the car could not be working, and they won't know unless someone tells them. Like their tail lights
Yeah,
could be out, and they won't know.
100%. Oil
Headlights could
change.
be
You could
out.
drive your car for 5 years, and if the oil change thing don't come up, I don't need one. Like,
Nah, dude, I learned that the hard
no,
way
I'm
changing
not,
the
I'm not
oil. I
saying.
fuck
I'm
with
just
the
saying
car
that's how
because of that.
people think. Like
Yeah,
usually, like
no,
nowadays, the car will tell you when they need it. So it's like
for
if the car
sure.
don't tell me, it's good.
Yeah, no, I'm lucky I got free oil changes for 3 years. That's coming up now. Damn, I almost had my car for 3 years. That's kind of crazy to think of.
Yeah,
But yeah, tire alignments, rotating your tires. your brakes. You know, you kind of want to keep up on stuff like that because it's important. But yeah, South Florida, like I get back there and people can't really drive here in Georgia, but I get back to South Florida and I'm like, dog, y'all really don't know how to drive. And there's so many
Yeah.
old people down there driving and young kids, and it's a lot of uninsured people driving in South Florida. So if you don't know what you got in your insurance, double check it. Make sure you got coverage for non-insured drivers, or else you'll be SOL, shit out of luck.
And a lot about you, it's a lot of tourism too. A lot of people coming and going,
Facts.
similar to down here. So you got a lot of people just not knowing where they're driving naturally. So I get that. Let's see. So let's jump right into it. Anything you want to take care of in the beginning of this episode?
My job, bro. We didn't even get into
oh yeah.
the
So
job.
you said jewelry. So talk about that. I'm interested because, like I said, you've been ghosted a little bit. We text a lot less now, but I get it. You're doing your thing. I respect it. But literally,
I appreciate that.
People think it's a gimmick or a work.
Dude,
come on this podcast, and I'm like, I'm acting shocked about how. Oh, what do you do? And it's like, no, I literally don't know what you do anymore. So like, I'm learning as everybody else is.
Bro, I must have got like 30 to 40 DMs from that post about the car. Everyone's like, man, no way. I kind of did, low key. No, but I don't work with cars. I don't work mechanic shop. I'm not working on a Bentley, on a Maybach truck. That is not the case. I got a job at K Jewelers. I'm excited. Mainly because I don't know shit about jewelry. So I'm excited to learn a new field and kind of I've always wanted to get into it because I've always loved like chains, I've loved watches, loved rings, stuff like that. Not really on me. I don't like rings on me. I'll wear a chain and a nice watch, but that's about it. But I'm excited to $20 Amazon chain, you know. I cleaned all my jewelry the other day too. Exactly. But you know, I went in there, did all my paperwork. It's just a jewelry salesman. And
which side of the I want to be careful when I say this. Which side of the not the river, but what side of the water do you work for? Do you work for the Israeli side, or do you work for the other side? Because it's usually stereotypical. I'm just saying, making a joke, kind of. There is two types of people who own jewelry stores usually.
It's K Jewelers, so there's no.
You commercialized.
Yeah,
you're not doing any independent.
Exactly. Every kiss begins with K. Head ass.
I'm a Jared guy. I got my wedding band from Jared.
No, but I mean, I hope it'll be easy because I know a lot of stuff on there is just based on credit. And I don't think people are coming in there and dropping 5, 6, 7 racks on a ring off rip like that. I'm sure they could be, but
never know.
I think most of it. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there are people that will do it, but when you sell stuff like on credit or finance, it's a lot easier than just having someone come in and buying something full price. You know, when I was there for about 2 hours, just doing my I-9, my tax stuff, and a few trainings. I think maybe 3 or 4 people came in just to make payments on whatever they had to pay. So, again, I don't think it should be too hard. I think it'll take me like a few weeks to get the hang of it, and I'll get comfortable pretty quickly. Like, it's just sales, so. And then
you'll figure it out.
I'm starting training for customer service staff at Publix this week, Saturday. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, man, I'm trying to just slowly but surely. I know it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to take 6 months. It's going to take like a year to 3 years to grind and really be where I'm at. But I'm excited to see what the future holds.
And you've been in sales, and we both know this is people get in sales and right away they think, boom, quick money, boom, I could make a lot. And yeah, it's possible in every industry. There are times where you could either get lucky or get in the right situation where you're set up for success and make a lot of money. But if you assume in the first year you're going to make quote unquote nothing, or you're going to make the bare minimum, you're better off mentally. So you're not stressing towards it. Cause last thing you want is that like, what is it? Salesman breath, or like you're desperate. You're trying hard. And it's like, everybody knows that, and they feel it. I've been a salesperson for shit. I'll never stop being one, as far as being like either an entrepreneur or something like that. But the one thing that always turns anybody off is almost trying to make it. When you don't try to make it, that's usually you just do kind of what you're trained
Just
to
be
say
you.
and do. Let the
Yeah.
person decide, because at the end of the day, they're gonna decide. Because especially with those type of sales, you can return that shit, you can lose all your commission, whatever. So it's like you might as well make somebody feel comfortable versus trying to force it just for an extra buck or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing that I was told when I started, especially with Verizon, they told me, whoever was training me or my mentor, I forget exactly who it was. They told
Mhm.
me you can make a lot of money real quick in this field, but making money really quick and making a lot of it is gonna,
Yeah,
one,
over
you're
time.
probably gonna, one, no, not even that. One, you're probably gonna be too pushy and you're gonna be forcing sales
Mhm.
on people that they don't really need, or kind of screwing people over, and you're gonna get a lot of like chargebacks or a lot of returns or stuff
Yep.
like that. Or you can play the long game. You know, you might lose sales here and there, but people are gonna respect you more, and you're gonna have returning customers, and you're gonna have customers for life that
Yeah.
are gonna, and that's what you want to build. You don't want to build something for 6 months and then you get fired for being unethical, or fired for doing the wrong thing, or for just putting something on someone's account that they don't need, or
Yep.
doing fraud shit like that people do all the time. I've seen it happen firsthand.
Yep.
Or you could
But
just
yeah, we've been on
play it
one
out.
side and we've been on the other side too. We know what we want to hear on either side of it. So that does make a lot of sense.
So yeah, no,
That's good.
I'm just gonna play the long game. I'm gonna
Good.
let it come to me, pause, and just keep my trajectory going upwards as it's been the
Yep.
last 2-3 months.
Yeah. Similar to like car
This year
sales
pretty
where it's
much.
like, yeah. So I mean, you've been doing everything right. So I'm not even giving you advice. I almost gotta listen to you as far as what you're doing, because every job, every situation you got yourself into, you don't just stay where you're at, usually going up. But similar to me, where last point I'll make is I'm trying to get another lease on a car, and instead of my last three leases, now there's about to be the third. I've gone to a broker because I don't want to have to deal with a salesperson going in and working them, somebody I don't know. Now I have a relationship with my broker. Shout out David. That's going to get me my third lease. I could go to him. I could let him know how much I want to pay, what I'm looking for, and he'll come back to me, and the car will be outside of my house. All I got to do is sign like 5 things on an iPad, and the car's mine. Boom. And I keep going back to him because it's like I have that relationship. I have whatever process is going to go through. I trust him in being kind of the middleman in between that and a salesperson. So I appreciate that too. So good luck to you, Fort Sama.
Thank you, sir. I
You
appreciate that. That means a
wealth
lot
and
coming from you,
prosperity.
sir.
Always, baby. Cool. Let's jump into the first and the main thing that happened over the weekend. I know you texted me real quick. You obviously watched the Garcia Haney fight live.
I did.
Cool. I had a packed
I
house at the
did.
crib. I had a long beach day. As you could say, I'm a little sun kissed, probably a little bit too much. Got my first coat of the summer, starting off because it is summer here now
Nice.
officially.
Yeah, I hit the
Uh,
pool Saturday with Shorty. We had a good
there
time.
you
Got in
go.
the water for a little bit. Yeah, nah, it was needed. It was
Yeah,
nice.
so
Get that
it was a
vitamin
long
D
day
on your
for
skin, man.
yes, sir. Pause. D, no Diddy. So for me,
No Diddy.
I had people over, locked in. We found a website that had it. You know, I happened to put it on my TV and it worked. But
Fuck yeah.
tell me about your experience and your mindset of what you thought about the promotion leading into the fight, because there was a lot of controversy on social there, and then going into the fight and then post. So I want to hear kind of your whole, like, a quick few minute spiel based on the promotion that you saw, Garcia being wild, and then going into the fight and then after the fight. So go ahead.
I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking this fight seriously.
We
Famous
could we
last
could
words
we could
from
do a
Devin
whole
Haney.
episode based on all those quotes and all that shit, right?
Man. Hey, my dog Bree said she won $187 on Garcia. Is that true?
Yep. She
Let's
she took a
go.
last second bet, and she was like, "Oh, I bet
Let's
the fight, I bet
go.
Garcia," and I was like,
Run it
"Ooh,
up,
okay."
Bree. Run
50
it up,
50 to win
baby.
187. Shout out Dre
Fuck
for
yeah.
coming through with that bet.
Yep, I was texting Dre too. But leading up to the fight, I probably felt the same way. Well, I felt the same way as a lot of people that are into, social media. Because it wasn't just boxing world. There wasn't mixed combats or, combat sports world. I think it was really a social media type event. Everyone tuned in just because of how Ryan was acting leading up to the fight, saying crazy stuff, saying that he was molested as a child, saying that, he was tied to a tree and saw kids getting molested and raped, and the whole Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever type shit he was saying. He got on podcasts saying all this crazy stuff, and he just didn't look right in the head. He didn't look there. He looked like he wasn't on just normal stuff. He looked like he was on some hard drugs, and if he was just fucking around and doing it and pretending like he was all this, then dude, he's got a really bright future in acting, because he fucking fooled all of us 100%. He did show up overweight, and him and Haney had a bet for $500,000 every pound overweight. Haney said that Garcia did honor
Was that was off the
bet.
record? I thought that was
Yeah, no,
on
that was-
contract.
Oh, I don't know if it was on contract, but they tweeted about
Okay.
it. They're like, we got a $500,000 bet for every pound. And that's the one thing I will take away from him. If you're going into a fight for a belt, you got to make weight, bro. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
You have to make weight. You got to be a professional. That's your first fight. And for him to lose out on a chance to win Haney's belt, that kind of sucks. But he got in that ring, and he had some great moments from the beginning of the fight. His left hook was there all night, and I haven't seen too much Ryan Garcia, but I was impressed with his performance. For sure. He shocked the world, I think. That could just be me not watching too much boxing, but a lot of people were shocked. Of course, there's always going to be people on social media that are going to tweet after the fact and be like, oh, I knew from the jump that Garcia was going to win this, and that. And he did look way different from his fight over the weekend than his fight against Tank. Way different. It was two different boxes.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was surprised, bro. I was surprised. I didn't expect for him to show out how he did. I thought the fight should have ended in round 7. I thought it should have been over. That ref did everything in his power to make sure Devin Haney did not lose that fight by a knockout. I don't know if he had money on it. I don't know what it was, but that's the thing with boxing, man. There's so much money involved, and it's I hate saying the word rigged, because I don't want to say the sports are rigged and outcomes are
because that just ruins it for everybody.
before.
Like, I don't even want to.
Exactly.
I don't want to entertain shit like that, because that just makes me like angry and sad, because the moment that's taken away from us, what else will happen in life? Like, other than the things that I love every day in my house, my family, friends, but like other than that, like, I want to make sure that sports and all that is as pure as it can be.
Yeah, it's kind of hard nowadays not to think about it, especially with sports showing all the gambling promotions. ESPN Bet now is a thing. There's jerseys. They got FanDuel, DraftKings, all that shit on as a sponsor. So it's hard.
Oh, we'll go into that in a little bit as far as betting. So,
but
later on the episode.
I mean, there was a lot of moments in that fight where you were like, "Yo, Haney's done. He's fucking done." He looked out of it. Yep. He just didn't look like the fighter that he normally is, and I thought it should have been over, especially in round 7. The funniest thing about the whole fight was at the beginning of round 7, they're interviewing Bill Haney, Devin Haney's dad, and he's like, he came out strong. He's looking strong. He's looking strong. He's still looking strong. And before you could even finish that, Haney gets knocked down. He's on the ground. So that was the funniest thing to me. That was perfect timing, bro. It's just so great. That's the thing to me. I'm like, why did they decide to interview him right then and there, and now his son gets knocked down? That's, it's kind of funny, but it's a little. I'm just saying, bro. I'm like you said, devil's advocate. That's what I'm playing, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty decent fight. They were talking about fight of the year and shit. And I was like, is this what my brother even texted me because he was watching it too. He's like, is this what boxing has come to? Because there was a lot of hugging. They were both like leaning on each other, and
a lot more hugging after Garcia started taking over the fight, for sure.
Facts. Ryan kept hooking over his head like that. I didn't like that. Haney kept punching him on the back and whatever, but that's just boxing. It's not an easy sport.
Yeah.
People think that you're just there just throwing punches for a few minutes each round, but that's cardio at its finest, bro. You need good
That's what the
cardio to
celebrity
box.
boxing has messed up the mentality of people that don't, for the most part, everybody that was at my house had watched boxing for decades since they were younger, so they understand that it's not about that. But I think to the casual fan, the celebrity boxing has messed up all of it because it's like you just throw blows and the fight's under 5 rounds. But one of the greatest or the greatest boxer I ever watched, Floyd Mayweather, he made sure every fight he knew was going to go 12, and you got to make sure that you have equal stamina in rounds 1 and 2 than you have in 11 and 12. My take on it all leading up was Ryan Garcia is 25 years old. He has all the talent in the world. He is, since he started boxing, he got compared to Oscar De La Hoya, and he has a lot of similarities to him. He's still got so much room to grow because if he's going to be what he should be, he's still got another 10 plus, 12 plus years. So he's got to be smart about the fights he takes and the blows he takes. But I don't think he was acting. I think leading up to the promotion, yeah, he was a little extra, but I think that's his personality now. He was never like that. Obviously, success comes with a lot of money. Obviously, in his personal life, we've seen across social media and what he's put out there. His selections in relationships and females hasn't been the greatest decisions. He had a kid. He's getting caught up in a lot of extracurriculars with some girls. Drugs are always a thing. Alcohol. He talked about how he was gonna not drink 3 months in going into training into this
Well, he
fight.
says he doesn't even drink water. That's what he said in his fight leading up to.
Like I said,
Tank.
I think
He's like, I think
he said. Do I believe some of it? Yes. Do I think a lot of it is he's just talking shit and he just says words? I don't think he has no filter. He's trying to promote it. He's trying to be extra. But his ability is pure. His ability is second to none, obviously, or second to one. Maybe Tank right now would be. Me and Dre were talking how this elevated Tank's status so much after this because Tank did handle Garcia, obviously in a different weight class and all that. So that's a factor, of course. But I think a lot of it was just promotion of just he's a wild dude. And I think he thinks the only way he's going to sell a fight or the way he could be a big personality and sell these fights is just being wild. And I think in the beginning of it, it was him trying, but now he's just become that wild character. He's 25 years old. He's got a lot of time to mature. So maybe in the next 5 years, hopefully we see that die down a little bit, but hopefully he's still being able to promote and be live. But showing up, man, he in the first round or two, I thought Haney was throwing good jabs. And then after Haney got, hit by his power, the jabs died down for Haney. And then you watched, Garcia just take his licks. Garcia's defense, me and Dre talked about it as well because we were side by side for most of the fight. Not his defense is not good at all. No. He tried to do a shoulder roll a lot.
Yeah,
he tried to duck out, and he was not. His defense is another fighter that wasn't maybe affected by his power can take advantage of that. So I think he's got to improve on that defense a lot. But great fight, great entertainment leading up. I know a lot of people were talking on social media bad shit, and then those same people after the fight were bigging them up. So obviously that's the life you live as an entertainer and an athlete is, you're going to get all the bad and the good within the same week. So shout out Garcia for doing it. Hopefully this creates more championship opportunities. Maybe they run it back and we'll see more entertaining fights.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that about his personality outside of the ring because even my girl texted me the morning after the fight and she goes, I'm a Ryan Garcia fan now.
All the girls love Ryan Garcia.
She's like, he's got the personality of a girl. She sent me a TikTok and it's him just doing a video talking about how he put this like SPF 50 sunscreen on. He's like, don't even worry about it. Just try it. It's SPF 50, this and that. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this man talking about? He's just, bro, he's so extra. And it's funny because I don't know if he's just being that way on his own. It would be great if that was him as a person, and I think it is. But also, I don't know if it's... I think that Oscar has a lot to do with it.
As far as influencing for the bad?
For the bad, yeah, because, I mean, we know who Oscar is. We know what Oscar has done. We know his story. And we can't take anything away from him because he was the golden boy. He was one of best boxers of all time, but we know what he's up to now. So it's like, how much of an influence does De La Hoya have on Ryan? And we don't want that to keep going on into the future. So, I mean, like you said, we'll see. I don't know much about boxing, how long he has to stay with that promotion, or if he can switch promotions, or how that really works. But I don't know if De La Hoya is the right person for him, or for
Yeah,
anyone, to be honest.
I mean, we'll see. Boxing has always had a history of the people that are to the left and the right of you tend to, in the history of boxing, you need to reevaluate yourself after every few years, whether that's a trainer, cornerman, friends, family, and promoters around you. You got to make sure you evaluate that year to year, fight to fight, because sometimes you get lost in the sauce. Historically with Mike Tyson, he's the number one and of gotten taken advantage of, and there's many fighters and boxers out there that have gotten taken advantage of. So we have yet to see it evidence wise, and there's nothing that everything's speculative, where either memes or jokes and conversations between me and you that it seems like it could be bad. But I'm trying to find that one quote on I'm trying to see if I can find it here. Let's see.
Did you see Evander Holyfield screaming Allah Akbar in front of Haney and his dad after the fight? That was funny as fuck.
I'm trying to find the quote. Let me see if I can find it. Nah, the quote when he was like, "Man, I'm pretty, and y'all just hating on me, and that's fucked up." Like, I love the way he said it was so funny. He's like, I'm just a pretty dude, and y'all hating on me, and that's fucked up." The way he said that, I was dying, dude. Oh man, he's a wild, but that's when you get in the sport of boxing and MMA and UFC, it's like all promotion is good promotion as long as you're not harming somebody in your personal life or whatever. But he's got the women. He's a good looking dude. He's got the women wanting to watch him. He's got the men wanting to watch him for his in the ring. The girls will watch him because he's a good looking dude. So he's right now, he's got it. He's got the age. Let's just hope that for our sake, for the next 10 years, he doesn't fall off a cliff and end up in some bad shit.
Doesn't burn out.
Burn out. Yeah. Cause that'd be sad. That would be sad, because boxing needs people like him. Like we even need people like Haney. We need people like Tank just to keep going, because we're seeing too much celebrity fighting. We're seeing too much of this industry and this sport taken as a joke. And I don't want, I take pride. Boxing was probably one of the first major sports I watched prior to football, basketball, and baseball. So we all have pride in that. We don't want to see it go away.
He did say he wants to run it back against Haney. He said something about his next 3 fights. He said he said he wants to fight Sean O'Malley in the cage, which is fucking absurd. He'll get ended.
Right, now he's just talking.
A minute. Yeah, he's just talking. Then he said someone else. He's like, I'll move up to 160, 165 or something like that, which he very much could. I don't know what he wants.
He could. Yeah, I could see him getting he looked good, man, going from his last fight with Tank, gaining weight. He looked good, man, and powerful. So man, he could definitely move up a little bit. He doesn't
have to do a weight cut. Right, exactly. So, but yeah, leave Sean O'Malley alone, man. There's levels to the fight game. There's a difference between boxing and MMA. Just as easy as it's hard for one to go to the other. We've seen it happen, and it doesn't work well. I mean, we saw it with Francis Ngannou. He got knocked out real quick by Anthony Joshua, and it would be the same thing if Anthony Joshua tried to fight Francis Ngannou in the octagon. You can't go, bro. Boxers aren't used to, they're not used to BJJ. They're not used to wrestling. They're not used to fucking throwing kicks and shit like that unless they have that kind of background. But yeah, Ryan Garcia wants no parts of Sean O'Malley in an octagon. Leave that alone. If you want to fight him in a ring. Do a little celebrity shit for charity or whatever. Do it that way, because Sean's a great boxer. We all know this, but yeah.
Well, that's what we're seeing across the board. People call out people in general. Like, that's the thing. You win a fight, you call out the next guy. But now you're seeing the cross between MMA and boxers calling each other out. We know that's not going to happen. There's no way. Actually, there could be a way within the next 5 years that a fight like that could happen, but it's going to be boxing, not MMA because I think they have snippets
do
of
that.
even Dana White saying that McGregor and Mayweather wasn't possible until the money came out, and money speaks all. So
That's
they realize how
exactly
much
what it
money they
all
can
is.
make.
They know how much money.
Shout out Dre for joining the chat.
Yes, sir. Both of those guys, both Ryan Garcia and Sean O'Malley, know how much money that fight will make if it does happen. And that's what
But
they're going
it's
after.
too early now, so let's not even.
Yeah,
I
way
don't even
too
want to
early.
address that. That's all.
Yeah.
Maybe 5-7 years from now, because they're both young. They're still dominating there. You can't just cross over before you start dominating unless you get into a situation like Ngannou where he almost had a force of hand having to go make more money
Right.
somewhere else.
Yeah, and with McGregor was already established. McGregor was the face of the sport. He was a double champ. He did all that. And then
we got McGregor
Floyd.
for 302. So
yeah,
right, that's 302. That's
303, I think it is.
303. Yeah, that's when I'm in Myrtle Beach. I think we talked about it last week. I'm going to be making sure I go to a bar locally or something like that. But great, entertaining fight. Nobody was disappointed in my household. Bree made some money. We all made some money. We all had Garcia low key. Did we think he could do it?
I didn't think Garcia was going to win. I'll tell you that straight up. I didn't think he was going to win that fight.
Not like that. I didn't. I for sure.
No, yeah, definitely not like that. And whoever the judge was that had 112 was smoking crack.
Yeah, I didn't understand
that fight was not 112 at all.
That fight was not a split decision fight, but it also wasn't like a super unanimous. It was. I know just for it to be even for one set of eyes, it lets you know. That's why Ryan Garcia's corner was like, "Stop! Don't let this go." After round 11, he's like, "Stop playing with him! Stop playing with him!" Because if he would have let that last round or last couple of rounds, according to another judge, that would have been the deciding factor. So you always have to make sure that nothing's unless, especially when he knocked him down one of the times, he got a point deduction. So it turned out
because he
hit him a 10-8 round to a 9-8 round. So
9-8 round, exactly. Yeah, he knocked him down twice in that round, but then I don't know if that's another thing about that ref. It's like, why'd you take that point away from him so quick? You didn't give him a warning, nothing. It was real quick. Take a point. So,
and Haney was throwing some kidney shots too.
Hit him in the back
and some rabbit punches here and there. So that was kind of, and I don't think he even got warned for it too. So it was kind of questionable how the not only the judges but how the match got. I'd never seen that referee ref a fight. Usually, I'm familiar with some of them. I don't think I've seen that referee before, so I was a little unfamiliar about how he goes about it.
Barclays Center got some action though.
Hell yeah! Shout out Barclays. Shout out Brooklyn. Yeah, it seems to be the new mecca of boxing. I think less fights go on at more fights, top championship fights, boxing wise, go on at Barclays than MSG. I don't know if MSG wants to charge so much, or maybe their relationship with some of these companies aren't where they should be. But
I'm a fan of that, though. I'm a fan of because me growing up, every boxing was at MGM. Every main huge fight was at MGM. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's still kind of like that. But over the years, you've seen these huge fights at different places in Atlanta. When Tank fought a few years back, it was in Atlanta. They got stuff going on now in California and other places in Vegas, New York now, shit like that. So I'm a fan of them spreading it out a little bit versus just in Las Vegas, because not everyone can make a trip to Vegas. Not everyone can.
Yep, exactly. So and I think that's why
it's good for the city. It's good for the economy. It brings money in. It's good for all of that. So I'm a fan of that. Spread it all around, bro.
Yeah, I hope they do some. Obviously there's a definitely a boxing status and viewership down here in Miami too that will be across the board. So hopefully they do spread it out, not just Vegas, but for other things. That's it for that fight. We'll see how this affects kind of that weight class and how that affects the other people that are going on and that want to fight. It's only going to create more buzz. Glad Garcia is able to lose a fight and then come back and win. And now we could either do a rematch. We could now maybe tank again. I don't know how that's going to work out, because boxing is weird like that. Just because two guys should fight doesn't mean they will fight. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we're not in control of. So UFC, boxing, we're trending towards the right direction. We're doing well as as being entertained. Let's jump into some NBA playoffs had started. Miami lost the first game last week. Playing, they won the second one without Jimmy. Jimmy MCL sprain. Still was able to play 3 quarters after that. This just shows who Jimmy is. Amazing. As a leader, as he probably shouldn't have played, basically,
As a competitor.
just to make sure it didn't. But ultimate competitor. Yeah. So now the bad part is because they won, they have to face Boston, which Boston, everybody's saying if they don't make it to the championship, the finals, it's a disappointment. So we'll see how that progresses. But what's your take on the Miami Heat? Open and shut. What are we not competitive in this series without Jimmy?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough without Jimmy. It was going to be tough with Jimmy. Boston is a juggernaut. They have
different from the
them,
past years.
Them getting Drew Holiday and Kristaps
Porzingis,
Porzingis, Dick Slap Porzingis Dick was huge in the offseason, and it showed. And Boston started game 1 just making every fucking shot, and Miami started slowly creeping back into it. But every time they cut it down to single digits, Boston came and hit like 2-3 threes in a row. Fucking Sam Hauser out of nowhere hit 3 threes. Quick 9 points when it was like a 7-point game. And that hurts, bro. That's tough, especially when you don't have your leader like Jimmy being there like, hey, keep your cool, calm down. We're good. It's still early in the game, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have their starting point guard either. You got Terry Rozier out. I don't know if he's going to play the series.
Yeah,
I hope he does because
damn.
Terry's
That's somebody that could put
us.
up 30 if needed, and defense-wise too.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Damn,
I mean, I feel that there was some moments where Tatum and Jaylen Brown were doing some kind of talking, and I don't think they go and do that if Jimmy's there on the floor. Because we saw it last season in the conference finals. They weren't doing the talking. We had Grant Williams stand up to Jimmy and do the talking, and we all know what happened after that. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough for us because we got a lot of young players. We got Jovic, who didn't play. I don't think he played much in the playoffs last season at all. He's playing now.
He's going to need some time and seasoning.
Yeah, we got Triple J, Jamie Jacques Jr., who's a rookie. He was playing well. He had some good moments, but it's going to be tough with those guys. If we get one game, it'll be lucky. The fact that we lost to Philly in that first play-in game by 1 game, and there was a lot of moments that were kind of questionable, and Tyler Hero getting pushed in the back.
You got Batum going off for 20-something. And
for 20, and then the first game 1 of the playoffs, he has exactly. The next game, he had like 3 points. He didn't do nothing.
He's more of a 8-point scorer versus a 20-point or a 15-point. So that was just an anomaly in itself. So, but that's the playoffs. Sometimes veteran guys, that's why you sign people like him. That sometimes you call upon it and they just show up. That's the difference. So, you can't. Miami Heat have done a lot of heroic things over the last few seasons when they were doubted. And I think this season is a wake-up call. You guys do need to make some moves. You got a bunch of young players. You got a bunch of players performing more than they should. And I think, just trust in Pat. Pat will figure it out. And just to recap.
Kendrick Perkins is an idiot. He said Miami can shoot 100% from 3 and 100% from field goal range, and they still lose. That's the dumbest take I've ever heard in my fucking life. You mean to tell me the team doesn't miss a shot and they still lose? That's retarded. That makes 0 sense, Kendrick Perkins. I don't know how you're on ESPN having a job. That's just doesn't make any sense to me at all, bro. It's stupid. It's really dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know how he's like, damn, I got one with this one. And no, it didn't work out at all.
Perk, I've gotten to know Perk a little bit more as I'm listening to him.
Oh, you're on a first name basis?
he be saying things for clout, but he's just,
of course,
he's a funny guy and he's a personality. That's why ESPN loves him. He's a couple times on Pat McAfee lately. I've watched him talk for more than just 5-10 minutes, watch him talk for a couple hours, and he's got some good things to say, and then he just says things that we say, like just off rip, just saying some wild shit. But just to
Bad
recap,
take.
Cavs Magic, they won on Saturday. They're up now by 20 plus.
Cavs
Cavs
are
gonna
up.
go 2-0. What?
Cavs are up.
Yeah, Cavs are up 14 right now on the Magic. They're going to go up 2-0 in the series. Knicks and Sixers are playing now at halftime. Knicks won the first one. That's going to be a competitive series if Embiid's healthy. I'll never root for the Knicks. So basically, I'll always root for whoever's facing them. So I hate to say it, but I'm a Sixers fan in that series. Nuggets beat the Lakers yesterday. Celtics beat the Heat, obviously. Clippers beat up on the Mavericks. The score
no
of that was
Kawhi.
with no Kawhi, which is crazy, which will always be the Clippers' downfall of either you can never get Kawhi and Paul George to play together for too many playoff games, which is sad. Bucks, Damian Lillard took care of the Pacers, and Thunder over Pelicans, and Thunder are very fun to watch.
So the one series that you didn't mention, which is going to be my favorite series, is Minnesota and Phoenix.
Yeah, I was saving that one. That's why.
Yeah. So no, before we get into that, I think. Fuck, what were we just talking about? Damn, you said one series.
Thunder, Clippers.
No.
Bucks.
Yeah, Clippers.
Celtics.
Clippers. Kyrie and Luka combined for 64 points that game one. But James Harden had 28. And that Clippers team is tough, bro. You don't really ever know what you're going to get from them being a Clippers fan or defending them, because you can have Harden that could go 1 for 9 shooting, 1 for 10 shooting, and he has a bad game. Or you can get Harden that goes off for 30. And that's what he did the other night. Him and Zubac established a pick and roll early, and it was quiet. It's tough for the Mavs because they didn't get much scoring besides their two superstars, and they're gonna need one of those guys, either Tim Hardaway Jr. or Maxi Kleba or whoever, to hit some threes, and they didn't show up game one. I feel like once you get those guys, if they give you 10-15, that'll be a good addition. But Luka and Kyrie are going to get theirs. It's just a matter of how well they play defense.
That series will be a lot closer, obviously. I think there was
It's game one. It's game one. We're all going to get all the overreactions and all that shit.
I seen a Richard Jefferson quote that I watched live, and then it went off on Twitter of like Richard Jefferson said, the team that loses has the advantage going into game two. And people are like, oh, he's an idiot for saying that. But I get what he's saying, because usually the team that wins doesn't make a lot of adjustments. The team that does lose has to make all the adjustments. So that's where you get that in a game series. So I understood that quote in the context that he meant it in, but it's true. Usually, that's why 7-game series is way different than regular season. You're playing, you're going to be playing for at least 4 or 5 games. So it's all about who can make the adjustment. So I think that Mavericks, Clippers, especially without Kawhi, will be a lot tighter than it was in game one. And just to piggyback off the T-Wolves, I put in the notes for us is like Anthony Edwards is that next guard. And in a world where now MVPs are going to the big men, Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, and all that. Now with Wembanyama coming up, and he'll win his MVPs and defense. I think if he next year and the years after, for the next 5-6 years, defensive player of the year might be locked up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then he's probably going to be one of the first people that he could win MVP, defensive player of the year, for like a few years in a row. Like, that's how special that kid is. But he's still young, so we got time. Anthony Edwards is that next guard. And when I say next guard, I mean not point guard, but guys that you compare. Like I said, I hate to compare to Michael Jordan, Kobe, but when you watch him, he plays
T-Mac,
right? Doesn't he play like all those top
D-Wade,
guards?
AI, he plays like all those guys, 100%.
He has a mix of all of them. So I'm not even comparing him to one player. The way he dribbles, the way he shoots, the way he gets in the paint, the way he moves, the way playing defense. Obviously, he's probably a better defender because he has 2 giants behind him in Cat and Gobert, which is, hey, that's not his fault. That's a part of the team. But that T-Wolves team was very criticized for giving Gobert all those draft picks. but I think this is the first year that it all worked out. And Anthony Edwards is a problem. And he's young too. He's only 23? I want to look up. I want to get this right. Anthony Edwards. Yep. Where is he? Nope. Not the actor. He is 22 years old. What the fuck? 22 years old. 22. And he looks like who we're talking about. Like 22 years old, top 3 seed in the West, which is the hardest conference. And it looks like he's not going to stay the same. He's not going to get worse. He's all these players that we just named forced into one. I love him. He's great for the NBA. Big personality. He's proved that he's marketable. Obviously, he had a couple hiccups on social media with, saying some derogatory stuff towards homosexuals.
Homophobic stuff.
Yeah, he also had some baby mama trauma or drama with some other. But at the end of the day, what greats haven't. Very true. We could talk about some of the guys that we just named had a lot worse things going on in their personal life.
You gotta have some controversy, man.
Just like we were talking about Ryan Garcia, young talent. We all win if this guy can stay on the right narrow, and I think he will. Obviously, immaturity. Give us $1 million, multi-millions. Give us a spotlight.
He's 22,
bro.
What dumb shit were we doing at 22? Not having the kind of clout and money and fame that this dude has. Imagine if we had a tenth of it. Are you serious?
Oh,
but
dude,
I think he's on the right track. He's in
I've been acting a fool for a few years without that money.
He's lucky he's in Minnesota. Imagine if he was in fucking LA or Dallas or Miami, New York, any of these big market cities. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be great for him, but he'd definitely be wilding out. But
I'm looking up now. And he's locked out. They did lock him down on a 5-year, $204 million. So he's locked.
Yeah, he got that
into his contract till he's 27. So when he's 27 years old, he's going to be. Well, when he's 28, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. He's $27.
$400 million contract.
Yeah, he's making 46 and a half his last year in that contract at 27. You're in your prime when you're 27, 28. So he's going to get another big contract. And we'll see, because he is with Minnesota, which doesn't have a history of signing guys in their second contracts via Kevin Garnett. And they haven't really had too much talent come through there. So interested to see. I'm sure there's a lot of teams in the next 3 years that if he's unhappy, not winning, and he seems like he's not going to hold back. If they're not winning and they're not doing their thing, he's definitely going to speak up and he's going to want to come to a bigger market. So let's enjoy him for what he is. He's a phenom.
He was talking that shit to KD. He called him an old head to his face.
And KD loves that. KD loves when people talk. Man, when you're dropping buckets on, and that exact point came on KD's head. So he's a beast, man.
Yeah,
and
KD started off strong. I even texted you about it. I was like, KD's on one right now, because he started good. But I don't know, man. I just Phoenix reminds me a lot of that first year Miami team when they got Wade and they had Bosh and LeBron, and they ended up losing because Phoenix hasn't played together. Beal was hurt most of the year. KD missed some time. Booker missed some time. It doesn't matter how many superstars or how many high-level players you have on a team. Basketball, you need to play together to win games and be good, especially in the playoffs when it becomes a half-court game. Because if you're just flying and playing fast pace, okay, cool. You're going to have your athletes, and they're going to make plays, but the game slows down a lot in the playoffs, and you're playing these teams 3-4 times in a row, and they're going to figure things out really quickly on what you do and your moves and shit. So I don't know. I really think that Minnesota gets Phoenix out of there in the first round, and they got home court advantage.
Bro, I'm looking at it now, and I hope this happens for the NBA. Obviously, we love watching Denver and Jokic and stuff like that, but we watch them as a fan. I'm looking at it right now. OKC has the number 1 seed. Minnesota has the number 3 seed. They are on the opposite side of the bracket. That could be a Western Conference Finals. Not sexy, not hot, not a legacy franchise in either or, but that's how you grow the game. If we see a Thunder Timberwolves, that'll be what the NBA would love to just be able to market and watch these young guys like SGA and who they have on their side, all young players. They got one of the youngest teams in the league and looking, and they were a number one. They were a top 3-4 seed all season long, and then the Timberwolves the same. So I would love to see a Thunder Timberwolves Western Conference Finals and just watch them go at it. Like, hopefully they stay healthy. Hopefully they both battle through. But that's going to be my early pick to. I want to watch those two young teams go at it, and that'll be something great for the NBA too. Because after the LeBrons and the Durants and kind of the guys that are older than 34, 35 go away, you're looking for those next guys. Obviously, Luka's one of those, but he hasn't done much in the playoffs yet. He's still young, but how you got these super teams as far as being young and so much room for improvement. So I'm excited about the Western Conference. Eastern, who knows what happened to Giannis? That calf injury does not look good. I do not see him playing the first round at all. If they play him in the first round, that'd be foolery, because what follows a calf injury? Say it.
The Achilles.
Always, every time, like every single time. And I thought it was an Achilles pop immediately. So like same thing happened with KD in that finals with Toronto. It was a calf injury. Yeah, they said he was good to come back. He looked healthy. He came back. Boom, popped it. So same thing. Aaron Rodgers had a calf injury. Achilles pop. So if he comes back in the playoffs, that'll be great for them. But man, that you can't play with that, because are you saying you want to win now, which is what they want to do? But man, you rush him back or you put him in a situation where he pops Achilles, you're seeing Giannis. You're not seeing Giannis all next year, and you're seeing him the year after, and that's another year that is wasted in their franchise. So, yeah, I just see Boston cruising, if healthy, to the finals. So that'll be fun. That's it for NBA. One news that came out: Caitlin Clark got drafted. We said it to the Fever. It got reported she immediately got an 8-figure Nike deal, rightfully so. And then there's controversy with. You look at Nike and who has signature shoes. It's 3 white girls.
Yeah, put a button in
social
that
media
real
been
quick.
going crazy. I know that's what I said, but
JONTAY Porter.
That's it for that. Yeah, you can move on to that. Yeah. That's all I want to just talk about.
JONTAY Porter, suspended for life? Banned?
As he should. I'm going to get my charger.
I agree. He bet against his team against his team, I believe. And
what are some of the details that came out from that, if you have it in front of you?
I could pull it up real quick.
Yeah. So I know some of it while you pull it up was obviously he started off prop bets. He told somebody, hey, I'm hurt a little bit. Take the under on my rebounds or threes. And he took some of those prop bets as well. And the overall profit that he told somebody else to bet on was 80,000. No, they bet 80,000 to win like $1 million, which obviously red flag all over the place with these betting sites. You don't think you take $1 million on a prop bet from a bench player, that sends off immediate. They're looking into you. There's too much billions of dollars. And then obviously he took prop bets. He only made $25,000 or 20 something $1,000 from his bets that he bet on himself, which is foolery. Like, not saying he's going to make millions in the league, but shit, in the NBA, you put a couple of good years together, and he was getting playing time. Put a couple good years together, you could make a good chunk of change. I think the bare minimum, if you're a bench player or coming off the bench, top 8 on your team, you're going to make $5 to $7 mil. So dumb.
So yeah, the $80,000 prop bet was frozen and not paid at all. So it was an unusual betting activity.
So it got flagged.
Yeah, it got flagged. And then in addition to January through March 2024, while traveling with the Raptors, or Raptors 905, the Raptors NBA G League affiliate, Porter placed at least 13 bets on NBA games using an associate's online betting account. This was ranged in size from 15 to 22,000 for a total of $54,094. The total payout from those bets was 76,000 and resulting in a net winnings of 21,000. So, yeah, bro, you're dumb as fuck risking your whole whatever. It doesn't matter if you're a role player.
Your whole
You're
life,
literally
career, everything.
yeah, you're not going to be looked at the same. Everyone's not going to want to deal with you now because they know what kind of person you are, what your character is. And I mean, even we could talk about Pete Rose, and people still look at him some kind of way, even though it's been, what, 40 years?
Shit, yeah.
Maybe more. So, and then also the whole Porter family's wild, and I believe one of their younger brothers got arrested for some kind of like car accident. He killed someone or some shit. Hold on,
Oh,
before
damn.
I fucking start throwing wild shit out there.
I didn't know that. You're jeopardizing your whole future. Now he's got to hope that a European team will take him if he grinds right, if he shows whatever. But you're taking a chance that nobody want to touch you at that point,
Okay, yeah.
unless you're
So
Diddy.
his
Pause. Huh.
credit to this is a tweet from BK Denver Sports. Credit to Michael Porter Jr. for answering questions about such a challenging week, with his brother JONTAY being banned from the NBA for life and brother Coben being sentenced to 6 years in prison for killing a woman in a drunk driving incident. So yeah,
Jeez.
them kids are wild, and he's Porter Jr. is going through it, and
Success,
he's got a
man.
podcast
Dangerous
with
drug.
Lana Del Rey.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Like I
it
said,
really
success
is.
is a dangerous drug too, man. We talk about you could be clean, squeaky clean. I say it on this podcast all the time. Humans are gonna human. Whether that's making horrible mistakes and the consequences are only themselves or other people, doing dumb shit, drunk driving, killing other people in crashes, as we've seen. It won't go away, unfortunately, and that's the price we pay with betting. That's why I think these leagues were so against it for so many years, against legalized betting and all that, because they knew this was going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen because people are going to be dumb and make dumb decisions. It's not going to go away, but these leagues couldn't pass up these billions of dollars that these companies are offering them, rightfully so. The only way these players get paid is if they sign new contracts and new deals. So I get it, but damn, that's unfortunate. But fortunate for the NBA, it was somebody in their league that they can make an example of. That's not a main player. He's expendable. The only connection that he has in high regard is his brother that's on that is a defending NBA champion, but it wasn't anybody that is an all-star, is a predominant player, so they could ban him and then keep it moving. So
So now,
unfortunate for him in many ways that he was made the example, and hopefully that example hits hard.
now that you said that, do you think the NBA keeps the same energy? I'm not going to say LeBron because whatever, but let's say Nikola Jovic. All right, if Nikola Jovic gets caught doing the same thing, you think they do the same
They
punishment,
have
ban him
to.
for life?
I think it
Not
goes
not
through.
not now. Not if he does it now. If he
Yeah.
does it now, obviously you got to keep doing it. But if
No,
it
how
was
about this? He does it
Jovic that did the
before this
first thing,
happens. Let's say it's
yeah, that's what I'm
replace the
saying.
name.
If he
Yeah,
right,
replace the name, same time. I think they I don't
I don't
know,
think they're
but
banning him for
I think the
life.
process goes on a way longer. I think they like this Jonte Porter thing, that happened like we found out about it 2 weeks ago. By a week, 10 days, 12 days, he was already banned. I think if a star player does it, I think it takes longer. I think they try to stretch it out, really try to figure out everything. The Otani thing got figured out. The FBI's involved, and all that shit that we talked about a couple episodes ago got figured out. It was proven that Otani had nothing to do with it. His translator was a schemer, and he's an idiot, even more of an idiot than fucking Porter was, or kind of the same. I don't know how you want to, but he put up a lot more millions and basically a lot more federal offense. Like that dude's going to prison probably, versus Jonte Porter's just getting banned. Maybe he'll get investigated, but I don't think any criminal charges will be brought that are that serious. But That's hey, once you open up that that bit of betting and that you could bet on yourself, prop bets, it's dangerous. That's why they don't allow prop bets in college. Because in college, it's way too easier because if you're the guy 6-man off the bench for Kentucky, you're not going to get drafted, but you could do some prop bets. It's probably worth it, if you do it right or smart. So that's why they don't have. I looked it up during the run. They don't allow prop bets in college, and I don't think they should for this exact reason. So, you weren't having to worry about that.
They had a whole thing on Netflix about that, about some point guard in college, selling games and blowing games like that. I forget what it was called. Berto had told me about it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like I said, hopefully it doesn't happen as much because it does take away from the integrity that we talked about. The commercial that I'm talking about with SGA and other buddy is going on right now. The AT&T commercial, which is god awful. I hate it. It's cringe. Ick, as they say. That's it for basketball. Hockey playoffs going on. My Florida Panthers, as usually, I'm dripped out. Let's go. Took game 1, Battle of Florida. Took down Tampa yesterday at 12:30. Got another game tomorrow. I'm weighing my options to see tickets have gone down in half the price. So I think last week they were like over $120, $30 per. Now they're at like 70. So I'm tempted to buy a ticket because it would be the only game I go to this round. So I'll see tomorrow when I wake up if I'm able to get some things done or whatever. But hockey playoffs, phenomenal. Toronto, Boston played right now, 2-2. Hockey playoffs are amazing, man. I know you don't got too much time or with NBA, but I challenge you to throw on a hockey playoff game and try to watch it.
When do the Panthers play? Panthers won game 1. They play tomorrow?
Yeah, watch tomorrow. Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow. Try to watch that game just to give you like what I've gotten accustomed to and watching the intensity, hard hitting. Man, it's great. Yesterday we had a game, Winnipeg Jets and Colorado Avalanche, who are two of the top teams in the West. Their game was 7-6, 8-5, damn, whatever it was. Yeah, over 12 goals scored, 13 goals scored. It was a quality game, even though there was a lot of goals scored. Because sometimes you think, a lot of goals scored, that means their defense sucks. No, the Jets are like top. The Jets basically were first to the Panthers in most goals allowed in the league. So you might say, it was a battle of like bad defense and something. Nope, it was just fucking playoffs are just unpredictable. It could go either way. So playoff hockey, I can't wait to get off this podcast after we're done just to watch the third periods of this games. So I'm hype about hockey. I'm glad I have it. Coyotes, I don't know if you know this. They've been playing in a college arena for the last couple of years that can only fill 4,500 seats. The owner is a piece of shit, and he has promised getting a new arena, X, Y, and Z. Couldn't get it done. So now the NHL, which I love, NHL said, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. We're you're selling the team, which he still made money off of because he bought it like a decade ago for way less than he sold it for. Now that team is moving to Utah, Salt Lake. I think it's the same owner as a Utah Jazz, and that owner is 43 years old, and he's his value, Utah Jazz, sorry. His value is a 3-point-something billion. His name is Ryan Smith, Utah Jazz owner. His net worth it's insane how these owners are getting younger and younger. He's 45 years old, net worth $2 billion, owns the Jazz with his wife. He started a company called Quadrix. It's an experience management company and made billions of dollars. And he's trying to change the Utah Jazz and try to project it forward. And he's a young owner. So young owners tend to try to make it bigger and not like these old heads that just sit back and love the money that they make. They're actually trying to make a difference. So he's taking on the Utah hockey team now. They won't have a nickname for their first season. They're just going to be called Utah, and that I'm a fan of that because why rush into a nickname or something? Like give it a full year of what you want to, if you're going to be a franchise for 100+ years, figure out what you want your identity to be. I like that. Just be called the Utah hockey team.
Yeah,
But
do it
there
right.
are, yeah,
Don't
right.
do it
There are,
like Washington.
yeah,
Can't
don't,
figure
yeah.
out what
I
they're
mean,
doing.
Commanders was, I still don't like that name, but whatever. They're terrible. But they force a hand and they couldn't come up with a better identity than that. That's on them. That's a poverty franchise for years. So yeah, Utah in hockey will have at least a year to build a identity and be in Salt Lake. And I'm excited about that as a new hockey fan, something new, something. And I like the owner of the Utah Jazz. He's been on Pat McAfee, so I got to know him a little bit better. We're not on a first name basis yet, but hopefully we will. Sports. That's it for me. I have a couple other random topics, but anything from the sports. A lot of new uniforms. I was texting Dre earlier. Denver Broncos got new uniforms today. Last week the Jets did. Houston Texans are going to get new uniforms this
I saw
week,
that.
which are pretty fucking cool. I've seen some of the concepts, and they're basing a lot of their uniforms and helmets on like Houston, H-Town, and giving it a little bit more character. Obviously, that's a rising franchise with Stroud. The NFL draft is on Thursday. Do you guys have a first round pick?
We do. I think we're 21.
Okay.
We got the 21 overall pick.
The Giants have that.
I hope we go offensive line. We need offensive line. Don't do anything else. Don't fuck it up, man. It's really not that hard to fuck it up. Just
You guys have
an
done well
lineman.
draft wise, though.
Yeah, the last few years, yeah, but just take an offensive line. I would like the center from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson or some shit like that. That's a fucking great football name. Your last name
like
is
that.
Powers Johnson or something. I think that's his name.
And he's a white. He's a white. I like that.
Oh yeah. He a white dude.
Oh yeah,
he a white dude.
I think I know who he is. I watched his pro day. They threw it on randomly. So, I think I know exactly who you're talking about too.
Yeah, go offensive line. You can never have too many offensive linemen.
Nope. As the Giants do know or don't know, depending on how you do it. But the Giants have the 6th overall pick. Either we're going to trade it to go up to 3 or 4, or we might trade it to go back. Either way, we're either selecting a quarterback or a wide receiver. I think we should go even though I look at the wide receivers and I'm so tempted because I would love another wide receiver because I watched all the hype and the energy that Odell Beckham brought to our team. And I see every franchise has a number one except for the New York Giants. Like, I swear to God, I think we're one of 2 teams that don't have a pure number one, and it sucks because you can't play football without a pure number one wide receiver. So I'm hoping we go quarterback only because the quarterback situation is not solidified right now. Daniel Jones, we could opt out after this year. So I think he could have a Pro Bowl type year and we'll still want another quarterback in his spot and then just call that a loss. So hopefully the Giants go quarterback. If the quarterbacks are gone, they stay where they are. Wide receiver would be exciting, and then we'll figure it out from there. But NFL draft is going to be fun. Like I said, uniforms are dropping, so some excitement there with some franchises. A lot of movement. NFL, it's going to be a fun Thursday for the NFL draft.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really tune into the draft as much anymore. It's, I don't know. I think Caleb Williams is going to go number 1.
I usually only watch the draft picks round up until like 15. I stopped watching because after that, it's like I'm not probably going to see these names ever again. So I'll definitely watch till 10 to 15. Depending on what I'm doing, I'll have my mom and my nephew in town this week. So I probably won't watch it intently, but I'll be aware of who's getting picked. But I like to watch the first at least 10 picks or be aware of who got picked just because, those guys are going to probably be either Pro Bowls or people you want to watch. But after that, just it's a roll of the dice who's going to be good,
Yeah, I usually just watch the first round up until the Dolphins pick, and then after that, I just watch whenever they pick.
For sure.
That's about it. I'm not too in tuned into that. Not
For
really my
sure.
thing.
I do have a topic, and we'll kind of end it on this. Not end it on it, but at least it's a topic that I only thought about earlier, and I like to, other than if you're a first time listener or watcher, and we like to obviously talk about sports. We talk about things that are going on, but there are some topics that either we see people bring up or things that during the week I'm like, oh, let me write that down and ask for it because we don't really get into too many conversations about this. First of all, we live a totally different lifestyle. You were once single not too long ago. Now you're with somebody, but you're also not living with them. I'm in a totally different situation, house, married, all that. But I wanted to see not only for you, but maybe some people that are watching to dive in. Um, I'll start off this question is what do you think or what do you know you spend because food is has been brought up a lot on social media. I see people are like posting videos of like this is what $100 gets you at Aldi, Publix, Walmart, whatever. And I'm always like, all right, it depends on what country you're in because a lot of people post it from different countries, Canada. So the only ones that are relevant to us is America, obviously. And then what you're buying is more important as well. Somebody
Yeah,
posted, "Oh, this is what I got for $100," and I look at what they posted. It's like you're buying marshmallows, you're buying like shitty cereal. It's like, all right, no
yeah,
wonder. Like,
yeah.
a box of cereal is like $6 if you don't. So I wanted to ask you, what do you spend on money per day? Like, what's your kind of routine breakfast, lunch, dinner? And then what do you think you spend a day, a month, a year? Like, I have it all figured out because I kind of budget for my household. So I could come up with good numbers and I could tell you almost exactly how much we spend. I was just curious on somebody like you that what's your flow of what you spend money on as far as food? Because it could get lost. You could spend a lot of money and you don't even realize, like, oh shit, I spent $80 on food today.
Yeah. No, I mean, that definitely makes a lot of sense, especially if you're just buying fast food or, it's tough for me because most of the time I'm working. So I'm not really buying groceries to cook.
Yeah.
I'm not
See?
doing that's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I what you said is very factual, and I kind of always want to say something cuz me working at Publix now, I see it firsthand being a
Mm-hmm.
cashier. So I know what people are spending, I know the price of things, and people come in and they'll buy a bunch of bullshit, not healthy stuff. And when I say healthy, I'm not saying it has to be organic and green wise and whatever, because that obviously is going to be more pricey than regular groceries. But they're buying sodas, they're buying Chips Ahoy, they're buying Takis, they're buying Doritos, they're buying, like you said, marshmallows, candy bars, and they get like 3-4 bags, and it's like $100, and they're like, oh, why is this stuff so expensive? Blah blah blah. Well, there's no greens on the belt, bro. You bought no vegetables, you bought no rice, you bought no beef that could feed you for 2 or 3 days. Like, you bought none of that. You just bought straight snacks. You might as well have just gone to the gas station. But you want to come to one, Publix is going to be one of the most expensive grocery stores you can go to because of the experience, because of the customer service that Publix has. So that's more of an experience, I think. There's certain, like, Walmart is cheap because one, they don't have any cashiers. It's all fucking self checkout. You got to do it on your own. Aldi, you got
Boy,
to
do I
bag
know.
your own groceries. It's not like people are bagging it for you. So Publix, they're able to put the price on their things because they back it up with how well people are going to, you're going to get great customer service if you go to a Publix. If you go to a Publix and you don't receive great customer service, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I right now? This is not normal. Like, you go to Walmart, people aren't going to say shit to you. Shit's going to be where it's not supposed to be. That people aren't going to be giving a fuck about their job. So you can do certain things that you can't do at Publix. My Publix doesn't even have self checkout, which I fucking love because it creates that customer experience with the employee. But yeah, I'm not, dude. It's weird to say I'm a grown ass man, but I'm not really buying groceries like that to cook. But I would say like an average grocery thing that I scan when people are actually buying groceries, I would say is anywhere from like $130 to $170. that's like normal, and people are actually buying like stuff where I could tell, oh, this person's about to, cook. They got peppers, they got green onions, they got cucumbers, they got, like a meat, either chicken or beef or ground beef, whatever the case may be. They have those certain things, chicken broth, beef broth, whatever. Not people just buying random shit just to buy it and swipe their food stamp card that they don't really give a fuck about because the government's giving them that money. But I'd say in that area around like 130 to 170, once you got 200, over 200, it's usually, you know, either a couple coming in buying stuff
Yeah.
for both of them, or mom or dad buying groceries for the family when it's over 200, when it's 200 plus. That's
Bro,
just what I see firsthand.
I will tell you this. I'm friends with a good amount of people that I'm almost hyper aware of what I spend personally, but I am aware of what other people's habits are. It doesn't take me much effort to pay attention, but I do see in my friends that are single, they definitely, for the most part, not saying every one of them, for the most part, it's if they work a full-time job, it's breakfast out. And I used to be this person, so I get it. So I'm not even like dogging. Breakfast out, meaning Dunkin' Donuts in the morning on your way to work. Lunch, of
Coffee's like
course,
$6,
out.
$7 by itself
That's what I
now.
mean. A lot of people
You
aren't
know.
packing lunch. So there you go.
Yep.
So if you do, that's awesome by you. Also, when you get done with your day, you're going home. Do you really want to cook and do that? So you're ordering out or you're whatever. I've realized since I stopped working a 9 to 5, even when I was working 9 to 5, me and Bree either separately or together, um, okay. We were at least breakfast we would get I watch myself habit wise. You get I used to make coffee in the morning, save me money there, bring it to work. But then you get like a breakfast sandwich, then for lunch every single time out. And that lunch would go from anywhere from what, $8 to $15.
At least.
Sometimes at the last job we worked at, sometimes we'd splurge because we were making good money. We'd go out, dude, for it. There was lunches that most of the office, and we had an office of 30 plus people, and they were making, like I said, good money. So being frugal wasn't a thing that people did. I always kind of checks and balances, easily spend $40, $50 on a lunch, easily.
Yeah.
And then that same person might go home and just do takeout. I only asked you that question because I wanted to kind of get your thought process, and maybe other people that want to jump into this topic, is the amount of money that people spend on food without being conscious of or being aware is insane, because we buy food, we go food shopping every 2-3 weeks. I think now I'm trying to stretch that out until maybe once a month, once every 3, and we're only feeding 2 mouths. But it's different for us because we're home all the time. So we're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home. So we're spending
Yeah.
anywhere from, and for me, we have 2 refrigerators. We try to like get a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies, all the good stuff. Obviously, we buy some bad stuff in our cart,
You
but
have
we
to.
try
You
to
got to
limit
balance
that
it
stuff.
out.
Yeah, balance it out for sure. We do, but not. I'm telling you, like I said, I might be judging a little bit when I go food shopping. I'm that person that's always looking at everybody else's cart. Like, what are you buying? What are you buying? Because I like to just know what other people are just like. Oh, all right. And I make up scenarios in my head, like, all right, there. Like I go to Sam's Club, and sometimes people buy for like their restaurants, so they're buying like big things of rice and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
some people just be food shopping full of shit, full of crap.
Yeah.
And usually that shit's costly. Like I said, cereal, costly, super costly, no nutritional value to your life.
Right.
So,
Yep.
and we talk about like eating well, and I try, like today, I ate fruit for breakfast, only fruit with coffee. For lunch, I had like a ramen with some beef and some other things, like kind of healthy ramen type. And then for dinner, whatever was left over. But it's just funny how it's just so much money. And I'm thinking, am I spending a lot of money? I'm going to Publix sometimes. I'm going to Sam's Club, and every time we go, it's $300 to $400. We're
Well, I mean,
spending.
if you're shopping every 3 weeks, to a month.
Yeah. So I think
that's not bad. That's actually pretty good.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and that's why I want to bring it up. On food alone, I think in this household, we're spending maybe, and we have some extra because we have a pantry, so we try to load up on certain things, so it's not all like we buy what we eat. We're spending anywhere from $400 to $500 a month. But like I said, we are eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. I can't imagine what most people are spending every single day, 3 meals a day on only takeout. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I had Chipotle today and it was $11, and I mean, Chick-fil-A
That's not even that bad.
$14, $15 for a meal now. Anywhere you go, it's north of $10. It doesn't matter what it is. A meal at Taco Bell it's $10+ now.
Right?
But that's the thing. We can complain about it, but what are we going to do? Not eat? We can't not eat, you know?
So that's the other thing I was going to bring up too. Is like
same thing with gas. Like gas can get up to whatever, but what are we going to do? Not pump gas in our cars? How are we going to get to work? How are we going to, you know?
How I mitigate it, or how do I like adjust to it, is like with gas, I try to do it smart, where I have like I have that app where it's obviously I use a credit card for my gas. If you're using a debit card for gas, you're an idiot. Figure out a gas card or your credit card. Be an adult, please. So use that so you get points back. But also I have a gas app called
Gas Buddy.
Upside. So you basically, so if you have a gas station that gives you 13 cents back for every gallon you spend, you know, it all adds up. It might be a small amount, but sometimes where I'm like a few months in and I get $25 back and I'm like, oh, wow, that's basically a free tank of gas or something like that. But I just wanted to bring it up because I'm spending hundreds of dollars and I'm like, I'm eating home basically 90 to 95% of my month and I'm spending hundreds of dollars. I can't imagine what other people are spending not eating at home and only eating out. It's just, it's probably astronomical numbers like that people aren't even aware of.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I got to get better at it myself. Hopefully I do get better at it soon in the near future just because, but one of my coworkers said this and it was hilarious. She said Publix is a very expensive place to work at because sometimes I only get a 30-minute break. I can't go anywhere. I got to stay there. So I got to get something to eat at Publix or I'll get 45 minutes still. The most I'll get is an hour. So I can walk to the Chipotle, which is in the same plaza, or the Five Guys. But even those two, Five Guys is going to run me $20, $25.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just going to eat a burger, bro. I got to get the fries. You know, so
I just did quick math on this and we'll end on this. Like I said, I wanted to bring it up as a random, like kind of discussion topic because I did want to get to know how you orchestrate and how I do and compare.
Shout out Shorty. Shorty been feeding me, so I've been
there you go. That
kind of been good.
That does
and
help.
everyone says I'm slimming down. Everyone says I'm slimming down. So
I haven't seen you, but you look right. You look good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Shout out Shorty.
I just did quick math. Ready? This quick math. If you spend $12 for every meal, which is like bare minimum nowadays, right? $12. That's like if you're ordering Uber Eats, that double that. But if you're doing $12 a meal times 3, you're eating 3 times, that's $36. You times that by 7, that's $252. You times that by 52 weeks in a year, that's $13,000. Right? So now that I said that, because I haven't done math on this, now that I'm talking, if I spend 400 on groceries, let's raise that up to 5 because I like to go bigger number. If I do 500 a month on groceries, which is about reasonable, I think that's what we do because we do have some leftovers that last the next month and stuff like that, right? Carryover times 12, that's 6,000.
Half.
That's insane. That's insane. Like, so having this conversation without doing that math before I brought it up was like easily spending half by just taking the extra time. And what's the excuse for everybody nowadays? They don't have enough time. Everybody's got time. Everybody got time. Right? You got time to meal prep to prepare to leftovers because we always have leftovers that I try to eat as much as possible. That's crazy that people are spending. Some people are only making what? 30,000, 40,000 a year. They're spending half their money on food.
Half their salary on food.
That's crazy, bro. But I also blame the economy and all that with inflation and, you know, you just brought it up. Some things cost $2, $3 at a place that used to cost $1. and yet people are still getting paid the same amount of salary per hour.
Mhm.
So it's like, what the fuck? How
Facts.
does that add up?
Don't
It's wild, bro.
math
So
ain't mathing.
if you're ordering takeout food 2 to 3 times a day, that's the quick math for you.
And that's not
'Cause
even
think about it.
including if you're ordering from Uber Eats or DoorDash. You got
That's what
all
I
them
mean.
extra
So
fees and
that's
all
what I
that shit
mean.
on there too. Yep.
$12 a day, $12 a meal means
And
you're
plus all
going out
those
and
apps
getting it and
upcharge.
bringing it home.
All
Oh
those
yeah,
apps
for sure.
upcharge whatever the cost is. Exactly.
I'll
Yep.
admit, I just did. Sunday woke up tired, hungover. Woke up, I was like, you know what? I want fucking McDonald's. I looked up at the app. I could have got it myself. It would have been a 5-minute drive, 5-minute wait, 5-minute back, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Panthers game was about to start soon. It's like, I don't want to go out. I looked up on the app. They were like, oh, free delivery. Yeah, they got me on that free delivery. You know why? Every item costs $1 more than it normally would if you got to pick it up. So my usual $15 order was $30 because I was lazy.
Yep.
But it's worth it because I didn't want to move. So I understood what I was paying. But think about that. People are paying that all the time. That's crazy. Blows my mind. And that's why, long story long, is when people say, I don't have enough money. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. Like, there's a lot of things in your day and week that you probably could tone down because there's something in your budget that's not right.
Yeah.
There's always something. That's what I'm saying. I'm obviously everybody's got circumstances but first of all, when my friends talk to me about X, Y, and Z about financial, first thing I ask them is, what are you spending money on? And nobody wants to admit that. Everybody wants to hide that. Like, you know what? This is. I'm like, if you cut down 100. Yeah, exactly. It just, you know what it is though? And last point on this. I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm passionate about this shit. No one sees their money nowadays. A lot of people think about it. Your money in your bank account is just a number. Your card, you don't have to see it. You don't have to count it. You don't have to give it. It's not physical. So almost mentally, that's why I think the economy has gone this way where it's like no cash. We don't want you to think about how much you're spending. So when you go on Uber Eats, you go on these DoorDash, it's like boop, boop, boom, money spent. You don't see it come out. You don't feel it. I feel like since we've gone away from cash in the last 10 years, it's easier to spend money recklessly all the time. Just, what does it matter? I don't see the money. Yep. You never physically touch the money you make or spend. So also, I had a note. Stuffing. I eat stuffing now. I'm trying, bro, because me and Bree, we obviously stuffing is a Thanksgiving meal, maybe a holiday meal. We bought stuffing maybe a month ago, and we had it with a meal with whatever rice and a meat or whatever. We bought like 3 or 4 boxes of that, and I'm like, I need stuffing at least once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's such a good side meal where I'm like, let's make stuffing a regular, like, throughout the year meal, or at least a side, because stuffing is a great complement to whatever you're eating. Try it, buy it. It's cheap. It's probably not the best for you, but if you want stuffing year round, I'm telling you, my advice is go get you some stuffing and eat it with a meal.
Go get stuffed.
It's a great compliment. Go get stuffed. Sorry, I wanted to talk about food and spending money. Hopefully, if
now
you
I'm hungry, dog.
Yeah. That's all I got. Episode 122. 122. All right. I got my family coming into town on Wednesday. We'll record next Monday. My nephew will be here. He'll make an appearance on the podcast, which will always be fun. He'll be shy. He'll always ask to be on. Then when he comes on, he'll be shy. But that'll be a good episode. Yeah, we'll have him on. The guest for today didn't oblige, so we're working on that. We keep promising, under delivering, but guess what? People flake. People are soft, and they don't want to hop on. Everybody wants to get on a podcast until we hit them up and go. Until it's time to be like, "Hey, you down?" You're like, yeah, ooh, exactly. Yep. The easiest thing to do is talk, but when it's being recorded, people shy away. So, shout out for everybody that logged on, interacted with us, subscribed. Thank you, Dre. Dre told me, hey, anytime we're on, hit him up. So I'm going to do that. Maybe we'll have Dre on for the next MMA fight. Somebody like him, he's reliable. I talk to him mostly every day. So any last thoughts? Anything from you?
Nope, I got nothing today.
I like it. Go do your thing. I know you got to go. Appreciate you. Elvis Escobar for Tama. Enter the lab, exit the lab. Peace.